Hello and welcome to my channel everyone. Hope everybody is doing absolutely fine. And in this video I'm going to discuss about morphology of flowering plant. And under this particular video I'm going to talk about symbolic representation of floral parts which are used for floral diagram. So in this particular video I will explain about symbolic representation as well as I am going to give the trick by which you can remember the names as well as the symbolic representation. So let's proceed. So in this video we are going to discuss about flowering plants which are known as angiosperm, and flowers are known as reproductive unit for sexual reproduction method. So here we are going to see some of the features which are involved in flowers, like flower can be unisexual or it can be bisexual flower. It can have symmetry, it have leaf present at its pedicle or it may not present. It have floral whorls which is also known as part of flowers, and we will also see about floral whorls position with respect to ovary. If flower is a unisexual, then it means that flower can have either stamen or carpel. And when we are saying it is a bisexual or hermaphrodite flower, we are saying that stamen and carpels are present in the same flower unit. So here you have to focus on the terms or the things which I am saying. That when I said unisexual flower, then I am using terms stamen or carpel. And when I am saying bisexual flower, I am saying stamen and carpel. So for unisexual, it means that it have either stamen means male part or carpel which is female reproductive part. And when I am saying bisexual, we are including both stamen and carpel in a same flower unit. So how we are going to represent it symbolically? We will see that male is represented with an arrow and a circle. Female is represented with circle and addition, and bisexual we are making a combination of both male and female. Discuss about symmetry of flower. So here we will see that in flower we can see radial symmetry as well as bilateral symmetry, and here we call radial symmetry as actinomorphic and zygomorphic for bilateral symmetry. And in radial symmetry we know that from any plane, if we are cutting a flower, the central axis will remain the same, and from where we will cut it, it will give identical half of a flower. And in bilateral symmetry we cannot cut from any plane, it will be cutted from only one plane from where we can get identical half. So this is the difference between actinomorphic and zygomorphic. And the symbolic representation for actinomorphic is addition sign within circle, and we can see that zygomorphic representation is with a percentage sign. Now next I am going to talk about a feature which says that leaf at pedicle. So if leaf is present at pedicle, it is known as bracteate, or we call it flower with bract. So bract is basically reduced leaf which is present at pedicle. So if it is present we call it bracteate, if it is absent we call it ebracteate. So this is the symbolic representation for bracteate, and this symbolic representation is for ebracteate. Now I am going to discuss about a very important part which is floral whorls. And in floral whorls, or we call it part of flower, we are going to see 5 important parts, and like calyx, corolla, perianth, androecium and gynoecium. So we will discuss one by one. So I will start with calyx, which is also known as sepal, and the symbolic representation for calyx is K. And here we will see that calyx can be in a free form as well as it can be in a united form. So when it is in free form we call it polysepalous or aposepalous, and when it is in united form we call it gamosepalous or synsepalous. So for free form, if I say that any number n for calyx in free form, it will be represented as capital letter K, and in subscript we will write N. So now here we are going to see the difference between free form and united form. In united form, any number n of calyx in united form is represented as k bracket, within bracket we write the subscript. That means the number, whatever the number of calyx, we are going to write in the subscript, and we will bracket and we will write it in bracket whenever we are talking about united or fused form. That means whenever calyx are enjoined or united or fused, we write it in bracket. And for example, here we can see that 5 free sepals, we can write it k and subscript 5. Here we are using no bracket for free form, and when we are talking about united form, we are using bracket, and within bracket we are writing the number of sepals or calyx. So here is one more condition when the calyx can have both united as well as free form. So this is the condition how we are going to represent it. So this is an example that calyx in subscript 5, we are having 5 free sepals as well as we are having 5 united sepals. Now next I am going to talk about corolla, which is also known as petals, and corolla is represented with capital letter C, and when it is in free form we write it polypetalous. So petal is another name or synonym for corolla. So polypetalous and apopetalous for free form, and when we are writing it united form or the corolla, when it is in united form we write it gamopetalous or synpetalous. So here also we will see that any number n for corolla in free form, it will be represented as C, and in subscript we write n. So here we can see the example that 5 free petals, we write it 5 C, which is the symbolic representation for corolla, and in subscript we wrote 5, which is the free petals. And in united form we will see that the corolla number n, we write it within the bracket in subscript, and here is the example for united petals. Now this is another condition for corolla also, same as in calyx. Here we can see that the petal can be united or it can be free form. That calyx and corolla are in united form. That means we are not able to distinguish between calyx and corolla, and those type of flowers are known as perianth, and we also call them tepals. So the symbolic representation for perianth is capital letter P, and in perianth condition also, that means the fused corolla and calyx, we also see that they are in free form and they can be in united form. So when they are in free form we use term polytepalous or apotepalous, and when they are in united form we say gamotepalous or syntepalous. So here also we will see that any number n of perianth, that means the fused calyx and corolla, we are defining n for the numbers of calyx, or when we are talking about corolla we are using n for the numbers of corolla or calyx or perianth present in a floral valse. So here also when we are saying any number n of perianth, that means the number of fused corolla and calyx. So when it is in free form we write it P, and in subscript we write n. For example, we can see here that if there are 5 free tepals we write it P, and in subscript 5. So similarly for united condition we will be using bracket, and in bracket we will write the numbers of perianth or tepals. So when they are in free form we use term polytepalous or apotepalous, and when they are in united form we say gamotepalous or syntepalous. So here also we will see that any number n of perianth, that means the fused calyx and corolla, we are defining n for the numbers of calyx, or when we are talking about corolla we are using n for the numbers of corolla or calyx or perianth present in a floral valse. So here also when we are saying any number n of perianth, that means the number of fused corolla and calyx. So when it is in free form, we write it P, and in subscript we write N. For example, we can see here that if there are 5 free tepals, we write it P, and in subscript 5. So similarly, for united condition, we will be using bracket, and in bracket we will write the numbers of perianth or tepals. So now I am going to discuss about the reproductive unit of angiosperm, which is androecium for male plant or male flower, which is also known as staminate, and it is represented with capital letter A. Now, in some cases, the male reproductive part is not fertile, or we call them sterile male part, and it is known as staminode. So for staminode, we use symbolic representation with capital letter A with naught. A naught, we call it A naught for staminode. So here also we are going to see that it can be in free form or it can be in a united form. So when we are saying that stamens are free, we call it polyandrous, and when we are saying united stem, we call it adelphous. So now in adelphous we will see different condition for stamen. So if it is in united form and it is in single bundle, we call it monoadelphous, and when it is in two bundle, we call it diadelphous, and when more than two bundles are present of stamen, we call it polyadelphous. So here also we are going to see that how we will write it in the conditions or in different expression. So any number n in free form, we call it an. So for example, if 5 free androecium are present, we call it A and subscript 5. Now in united form, again we are going to use bracket, and within bracket we will write the subscript, in subscript the number of androecium which are or the stamen present. So if monoadelphous condition, that means only single bundle is present, and in a single bundle 5 androecium are present, so we will write it like this only. Suppose it is diadelphous, then how we are going to write? Suppose 5 number of androecium are present and they are present in diadelphous form. So how we are going to represent it? I want you to write it in the comment section. Another condition we will see here, that androecium are united with corolla or petals, and this is known as epipetales. So in this condition, androecium are united with corolla and we represent it with the arc sign. And when androecium are united with perianth, it is known as epiphyllous, and how we are going to represent it? We are going to represent with the arc sign over P and A. P stands for perianth, A stands for androecium. Here C stands for corolla, A stands for androecium, which is a male reproductive part of flowering unit. Now next we will see about gynoecium, which is a female reproductive part of flower. Now it is also known as pistillate, and it is represented with a capital G. So again here we will see that if female reproductive part of flower is sterile, is in sterile condition, we are going to represent it with G naught. So here we will see that some free carpels are also present and united carpels are also present. So carpels are also known as gynoecium, and carpel is a term which is used for stigma, style and ovary. So here we will see that any number n in free form, that means we are talking about the n numbers of ovary present in free form, we write it capital letter G and N, which is denoting the free form of ovaries. That means the ovary are not attached or united to any part, so we write it G N, or for example if 5 free carpels are present or ovaries are present, we write it G5. So in condition when it is united carpel or syncarpus, we write it in the bracket. That means we are writing it like G, within subscript and within bracket the number 5. Suppose 5 united carpels, we are writing G bracket 5 and bracket. So now we are going to discuss about calyx, corolla and androecium position with respect to ovary. And here we will see that the calyx, corolla and androecium position are hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. So in case when it is hypogynous, the ovary is superior. That means the ovary is upward, and below ovary the calyx, corolla and androecium are arranged. So this basically the symbol G, which represent the gynoecium or ovary, and this dash represent the position of calyx, corolla and androecium. So in perigynous condition we can see that it is half inferior, it is not completely enclosed. And in next condition we see that it is epigynous, which means inferior, where it shows that ovary is completely enclosed, and over gynoecium we can see the position of calyx, corolla and androecium. So now we will learn symbols with logic. So here I will start with staminate. So staminate is also known as stamen, which is a male reproductive part, and we know that the symbols which we are using here, it is similar to the paternal symbol which we use in genetics. Next is pistillate. So pistillate is the flower which is having female reproductive part, and here also we can see that the symbolic representation is similar to maternal, which we use in genetics. Next we'll talk about hermaphrodite condition, or it is also known as bisexual. So here we can see that we are combining the two symbols for both male and female, and the combination of two is giving a hermaphrodite symbol. And one more way to remember this is, we can see that the initial three letter is HER for her and HE for he. So this is another way by which we can remember the two conditions, or the two paternal and maternal when combined together is known as hermaphrodite. Next we are talking about symmetry, that actinomorphic. So actinomorphic is having addition sign within circle, and we can remember it by the initial letter, like A is for addition, C is for circle. Next we can see that zygomorphic. Zygomorphic is having symbolic representation of percentage sign, and how we can remember this is that and if we draw Z symbol, and what I did that the first dash I made it 0 and the last dash I made it 0. One more way to remember this symmetry is that we can see that A is the initial alphabetical letter and Z is the last alphabetical letter. So this is how also we can remember the symmetry, that A is for actinomorphic and Z, which comes at the last of alphabetical order, is Z and Z. So next we are going to see here about floral whorls, and we will see that how we can learn these symbols. So the floral whorls part are calyx, corolla, perianth, androecium and gynoecium. So what I will do, I will start reading from bottom towards up, and we can see if I start it from inside or from the ovary part or gynoecium, we see here that it sounds gap and it sounds CK. So we can learn it by the two clothing brands, which is Gap and CK. So these are the methods by which you can learn the symbols which are used in floral formula. So this is all from this video. If you liked my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and you can write your query in the comment section, and follow me on my Instagram page